This has got to go. Hi, and welcome back to yet another podcast episode. I'm Lisa, and this is LiseLight, and this is where I share a lot of stuff about my knitting journey, a lot of creative stuff, and so I hope that you will enjoy this episode as well. It's a regular podcast episode, but with quite a big change. If you saw my last videos about my spring knitting projects that I have going on, there is one very big change that I'm going to share with you a little bit into the podcast episode. Um, a little bit of I've been struggling a little bit with this one. So I think most of you probably can relate when you have to shift gears in the middle of something. It didn't turn out the way you intended it to, and so forth. Let's do Danish word and expression of the day. Today, I wanted to just go through a couple of the funny names for the names of yarn in Knitting for Olive. I'm pretty sure that when you shop on their site, you can probably choose the English names, but I thought it was fun anyway. So I just took three of them. Some of the very light, like beigey colors have some pretty fitting names for the colors. And the first one, it's a classic, almost impossible to pronounce word for foreigners, which is fløde. It's got the letter that only exists in a few languages, the Ö, and then it has a soft D. So I'll repeat it again, fløde. So it's a very soft D in the middle of it, and it means cream. The next one is havregryn, which means oats. Havregryn. I would probably say it faster in Danish, havregryn, but it doesn't probably make it easier to understand it. So pretty long word compared to the English equivalent. And then the last one, hvide, again an H that is soft and you can't hear it, and then the soft D in the middle. It means wheat, hvide. So it's pronounced kind of soft, but again, I completely understand if you're struggling with these words. And again, don't feel bad if you are. It's just my language is just kind of funny. So hope you enjoyed this little sequence, and then back to the rest of the regular schedule. So, but let's just get into it. I only have one finished object today, which is my finished green socks. They look a little silly because, first of all, I have long feet, but also I did the cuff. Well, I don't think I want to do a shorter cuff than this. I mean, this is more or less turned into an uh, anklet, socklet type thing, which suits me great, and I think it's perfect for spring. I've been working on these for quite a while. I think I've talked about it before. It's my office knit. I usually have a pair of socks at my office that I knit on when I have a break or need to just switch up gears or waiting for something to download. And then once in a while, I will work more on them because I feel like they needed to be done because I'm so excited to get to wear them. They're in this very, very soft yarn. I put there's always a link to my Ravelry notes where I have put the yarn, and the pattern I've used is, well, it's a mix of different things. I think the first pair of socks for myself I knit from the a pattern from Florence Miller, where she teaches you in a YouTube video from start to end. She teaches you how to knit a pair of socks with a beautiful lace pattern. And I've done a couple of those, both for myself and for friends and family. And then I just started using that recipe more or less and then I modified it. Because again, I'm not a big fan of doing swatches if I don't need to. And when it comes to socks, My go-to method is basically I cast on the amount of stitches that I think are going to be right for me or whoever I'm knitting to, and then when I get a little bit down, I try them on, and then if need be, I'll go back and just adjust the stitch count instead of necessarily changing the needle size. And for most like regular fingering weight sock yarn, I'll just use a 2.25 millimeter needle because I like that they're quite tight also when I'm done, both in the fabric and also the fit of them, because they do tend to stretch out when you wear them. I think most homemade socks do. So this one I just kind of made up. And then also for the heel, I talked about this before. I started doing slip stitch heels on most of my socks, but lately I've done this shadow wrap heel. And even though this part of my foot, like right here, is kind of wide and sometimes bothers me when I need to find shoes, but for some reason, this type of heel really fits me. You can also see it's like it goes out apparently in the right direction, so it fits me really well. I think it's fun to do. So that's been my go-to heel. It's not reinforced back here, but I kind of feel like where I wear my socks is not on this heel part anyways. It seems to be more on the like right here and then almost mostly at the toes. If anything, I think my nails on my feet are just pretty heavy duty apparently. So if I don't really trim them down a lot, I mean, they go through socks like nobody's business. I don't know if I'm the only one. I feel like I have cartoon feet that way, but I would think reinforcing this part would actually make more sense for me. And I mean, my other homemade socks, I haven't worn through any of them anywhere yet. So I'm just going with the flow, seeing where it takes me. I do, when I walk around the house, I usually wear a couple of slippers or something. So I rarely run around just on the socks. I know if you have carpet, for example, and you run around in socks, they get worn out pretty fast. But I don't do that. I take care of them, but I also use them a lot because I really like wearing homemade socks. I didn't even know I did. I think before, the homemade socks that I made myself and other people have given to me during my childhood have been sort of chunky, heavy duty socks that are, in my mind, a little bit impractical because they don't fit always in my shoes. And I don't know, they just didn't seem as comfortable. But these thinner ones are just so comfortable to wear. So I'm very excited about these. Then also what I did a 3x1 rib here. I haven't blocked them. And to be honest, I love blocking, but when it comes to socks, I'm kind of lazy because I feel like, well, if you want to present them, of course it would look a little nicer because you can see it now that I stretch it out. But when I wear them, that's sort of automatically blocking them. So I don't feel like it's necessary for me because the stitches are very defined. They look nice. I don't know if you can see it because there's a lot of variegation in the yarn. But to be honest, I'm pretty happy with my own work here. I think they look great. So I don't think I'm going to block them. I'm just going to put them on when this video is done and start wearing them. So very simple, basically, but very nice. So I'm very happy about those being done. And then my next thing, work in progress. Oh, by the way, if you're curious about what I'm wearing, it's nothing home knit. It's a beautiful, well designed. I'll just get up so you can see it. It's just a simple cashmere t-shirt that I bought from sort of an outlet type place here in Copenhagen. I have a pink one with long sleeves, and then I have this one. I love it. It's the perfect cashmere tee, and it holds up really well. Didn't pay a lot of money for it. I have no idea how the where it comes from and all the stuff. I to be honest, I've had it for several years, but it's really one of the pieces that I love in my wardrobe. Coming back to, I love like warmer pieces that are with short sleeves and not too heavy. So yeah, that's I believe a trend. So anyways, my next my work in progress is my Cumulus blouse. This one, I've gone, I think I need about 8 centimeters on the body. I think I just ran out of yarn, so I stopped here because I think what I'll do, I think I have plenty of yarn, according to the pattern. I can't remember my other Cumulus blouse. I can't remember um, if I did the sleeves longer or what. I can't remember. So I think just to be safe, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the sleeves first. I think I have plenty of yarn still. I have, what do I have? I always mess up with the calculation. I think I have, I've used four balls, so that's 100 grams. I think I have six more balls. That should be plenty. I think it can't be more than a couple per sleeve. It's a mohair hill double. It's very thin and airy, as you can see, and I love it. I think this color is so cute, so pretty, and I'm hoping that I will be able to make the V on this one. When I do the I cord, I definitely need to consider. I'll try it on when I get to that point and just see, because you can tighten it up a little bit with the I cord, which you already do, because the other one I have definitely stretched out. So it's I want to be able to use it without having like a t-shirt under it or something. I don't want to. I think it's a V-neck. I don't really like the look where you can see something underneath it. I like it to be just skin. And if it's too deep, that becomes a little bit ridiculous. So yeah, hoping that this turns out the way I want it to. I think it's going to be a great piece for the spring days where it's still kind of chilly, but you want something airy. And I just love the color, and it's so soft. I don't know if you can see it. It's there's not, well, maybe a slight bit of variegation in it. Um, this is the yarn. Um, I don't know if the core. No, the core does seem to be the same color too, but it's almost like there's a tiniest little bit. Maybe it's just the halo, the fluff in it that makes it look that way. But I think it's beautiful and very happy with it. I think it looks good. It also, you can't really see any difference going from back and forth to going in the round. I'm pretty happy with my with my own contribution here. So that's good. All right, and now to the elephant in the room. This has got to go. It pains me because I've been going on and on. I did a video about lace pattern sweaters. I can't even get the words now. Sorry. Lace pattern sweaters for a DK weight wool yarn, because I have quite a lot of this dark brown wool that I like a lot, and I have by mistake I bought too much of it, so I have 5 skeins. I've talked about this before, but I've done the Eva cardigan in this yarn. I love it, use it all the time. So I don't want to do something that's too much the same vibe as that, because I don't need 2 of the same thing. And I was in love with the idea of doing, I still am, doing a lace weight sweater of some kind that I can use in the spring, maybe going all the way through summer. So even though this is not a spring color at all, you could say, it's still a color that I love year round, because I think it suits me well with my skin tone, my hair color, eye color, all this stuff. And it's just a classic color in a way. It's like another way of wearing, instead of black, you can wear dark brown the same way, I feel like. And I did this video, I'll link it if you're interested. I found a lot of beautiful patterns with lace, and I completely fell head over heels in love with the spring pullover, and I still love it. Oh my God, it's so pretty. And I did realize it was going to be a very involved knit. I mean, that's pretty obvious. When you see it, there's a lot of stuff going on. And I've started and gotten, well, somewhere, you could say. So I'm at the point where I've collected it, or what did you say, gathered it to go in the round. This is the front, this is the back, the sleeves on each side. And oh my goodness. I think, first of all, the swatch, I think I redid the swatch 3 or 4 times before I got it. And I figured that's okay, because, if I can't figure it out, it's not going to happen. So I needed to really, really concentrate. So that was good, and I made the swatch fit perfectly with the gauge and everything. Everything was cool. And then I started on casting on. And first of all, I had to figure out, maybe it doesn't matter, but it bothered me because I usually, when I do a long tail cast on, I just do it. I was almost going to say the regular way, which means you end up with the right side facing you, so that your first row will be on the wrong side. But then I realized, and that's also why I messed up on the swatch a couple of times. And I guess it doesn't matter for a swatch, but it still bothered me. I don't know if it's just me. Let me know if you feel the same way. But it feels wrong to start the right side on the wrong side. And so I went into, it doesn't really tell you whether you're going to cast on one way or the other, which is fine. I mean, it's not a big deal. But then I've actually found a video by, I think, Nimble Needles. Is that what he's called? He's doing some great videos. I'll link it down below if you're interested. But he made a great video showing you how you do a long tail cast on. You sort of do it backwards, so you end up where your first row will be on the right side. So I was pretty chuffed with myself that I figured out how to do that, because I felt like maybe it doesn't matter, because I know that on up here it's going to be the neckline, and in a way it doesn't really matter, because you won't, I think, be able to see it when you pick up stitches for the neckline, but it still kind of bothered me. So I was pretty happy that I managed to do that. So, and then I started on the pattern, and I know it's very difficult for you guys to see it maybe on this brown, dark brown, but the pattern looks amazing. By the way, the pattern is very detailed. So what I'm about to say has nothing to do with the pattern. It's so thorough, so thought through. It seems to be so well made that, I mean, if you follow the pattern, you're gonna get there. Um, I needed to like retrace my steps a couple of times. And I mean, in the start yarn, I mean, now I'm at the point where I can read the pattern at least a little bit. But there's so many different things going on in the pattern, and it changes and shifts over, which is what makes it so beautiful and intricate to look at. And on my first round, putting it together, it all seemed to fit with the stitch count. I was very proud of myself. And then I started on the first like pattern round after gathering it for the front part here. And it just started being like, that didn't really add up, and I was going back and forth, and I think, I mean, it pains me, because in one way, I just talked to a friend the other day, and I was saying, well, I really want to make this. I don't want to rush myself. I want to be able to accomplish this. This is going to be so beautiful. I'm going to get so much wear out of it. And that's all true. But I think I came to the realization that, I mean, the good part is I know I would be able to do it. But also I know that I don't want to do it anymore. And the reason being that in order for me to manage to get this done correctly, it takes so much effort on my part concentrating on the pattern that I basically ended up, and I've tried all kinds of different methods. I even bought one of those little stand things where you can put the pattern up, try to enlarge the pattern, but then you need several pieces of it. You need to go back and forth when it's on the front and on the sleeve. And I had it on the computer, like moving back and forth. And I think it's because in my work, everyday work, I work as a consultant in marketing. I do a lot of stuff. I'm on in front of my computer from the beginning of the day till I'm done with my work, which I love. There no complaints there. But I just suddenly realized I don't find it enjoyable to have to like either like really strain my eyes, either trying to read the pattern on a piece of paper, trying to navigate, with rulers and magnets and so forth. We can sort of follow it, but you gotta pay so much attention. You can't like do other stuff in the meantime. You gotta be so focused, because just one stitch where you mess up, the whole thing is gonna be messed up. And also, I mean, I got so tired of it, and I just realized I don't think that's worth it. Either, I mean, regardless of how much I would love the finished product, how much I would love to wear it, I think this would be something that I would start to get frustrated at. So because and again, don't misunderstand me. There's nothing wrong with the pattern. On the contrary, it's even. I mean, I rarely see so much detail. You have the detailed charts, but you also have the whole thing written out if you like that better. I don't. I like the charts better, but my goodness, it's so well thought out that if you just follow it, you will get there. But I don't think I want to. So as much as it pains me, I just came to the conclusion this morning that I'm going to frock this. I'm basically going to say goodbye to it, at least for now. I think, I mean, the result would look still amazing in this dark yarn. But I think if I was ever, and I might, if I was ever to pick up this pattern again, I will, for my own sake, not for the result, but for my own sake, choose a lighter yarn so I can see what the heck I'm doing. Because like this, again, my eyes aren't young. So, for me to follow through on this project would have taken, like, I almost have to sit at a table knitting. I mean, my usual, like, laid back in the couch or on top of my bed knitting habits had to be revised, because I mean, there's no way I can sit there relaxed looking at the chart and just being. I mean, it took so much focus that I feel like I would bring on a headache to myself. And so let me know if I'm the only one. And it's not that I don't think I could do it, but it's more that I don't want to do it. Is what I figured. It's kind of sad, but I've come to grip with it now. Just accepted that it's not. I won't count it as a failure, because I think that's judging yourself way too harsh. It's a hobby. It's supposed to be fun and enjoyable. But it's definitely just a learning experience for me that this was a little bit too ambitious, at least to where I'm at in my life right now. If I didn't work, if I didn't have to be at a computer for most of the day, if I could in daylight sit in front of it, if I could, all this sort of stuff, sort of have a huge area where I could work with this, maybe that would be fun and enjoyable. But at the moment, the way it is, it's really not. So it's sad, but it has got to go, because I don't want to have this sitting around making me frustrated, because that's not why I knit. I knit because I love it, because I think it's fun. So yeah, so that's what's going on. And so what I want to do instead, I'll just think about it a little bit for a couple of days. Maybe just work on the Cumulus blouse, get that done. In the meantime, also I have a pair of socks I want to start on. So yeah, so there's that. But I'm thinking in the pattern roundup that I looked at, it's a different style, but I like that a lot too. And I've heard good things about the pattern as well, is the garden, what's it called? I have my computer open here. The Garden Pullover by Anke Strick. Yeah, I'll put a picture up on it of it. It's just a very it's got the airy lace thing going on. I think the yarn that she has used for this project is definitely not the same type of yarn. It's probably more like mohair typey yarn. Let's see what she suggests. Well, knitting for olive merino. Of course, it's a different type of yarn. This is pure wool, but I think it might work. I'm a little. I of course I need to do. I need to do a swatch. It says 19 stitches by 30 to 32 rows. On 4 millimeter needles, or 3.5. So it might be 3.5 for me for this, maybe. I don't know. I'll try that out. But I think this will be more enjoyable knit, because there's pattern, yes, but it's a lot of repetition, which I think will suit me better at the moment, because not that I've done lace work before. I've done the Kuta Vakika, the what's it called? Love letter top with a bunch of patterns, but it just seemed more doable because it's smaller it's more pattern repeats, whereas this was definitely again, not difficult, but just you've got to pay attention all the time. So I feel like this will be a good mix of very wearable sweater. I love the V-neck of it. I love the detail where it crosses over in the back, also in the front, I believe. I think it's beautiful, and it just seems to be maybe more up my alley for the level of ambition that I'm ready to put into it now. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. And then yeah, let me know what you think. What would you have done in my shoes? Would you have gritted your teeth and continued, or just admit defeat? Sort of. I don't want to call it defeat, because again, I don't think we should judge ourselves harshly when it comes to this. I mean, that's not the point of knitting, at least not for me. I mean, I don't want to like put unrealistic expectations on myself. I know that I think that's actually what helps me here. I know that I could do it, because it does look amazing, and I've mastered the different techniques. It's not that it's difficult. It's just, well, it does that make sense? It's not difficult, but it's hard, if you know what I mean. So the technique is definitely just follow and do what you're told, so to speak. You could definitely do it, but there's no room for not paying attention all the time. And I just realized it. No, not now. So that's where we're at with that. What I'm considering doing, in just because I kind of felt like doing some more intricate lacy stuff is just so spring like. I love it. And then I realized I got all of this yarn for free when I ordered the yarn for the Cumulus blouse. And I have like 10 skeins of this, I think 50 grams each. It's 80% wool and 20% polyester. Kind of soft, not crazy soft, but kind of soft. And I got a whole bunch in dark gray, but this is like a light gray. I'm not so much a gray yarn person myself, because I feel like it doesn't really go well with my skin tone. But this light gray, I think I could definitely get away with. And I'm holding out here. I'm talking about socks, so they would be on the other end of my body, anyways. But and also I could definitely use gray socks as well, because you can always use that. But I was kind of thinking the Florence Miller socks or something along those lines. Like maybe I want to do a project. I don't know if it's a little too thick for that, but I'm going to try to do a couple of tests to see maybe this should turn into a pair of socks with some lacy patterns and stuff. So I have a little bit of both, like still a doable pattern that I don't need to strain my eyes too much to follow. But again, the pattern repeats on a pair of socks. It's even if it's intricate, it's much more doable because it's not that many stitches, so you can, it's easier to navigate in, so to speak. So yeah, that's an option. I have another two balls of yarn that's really cheap yarn that I bought in a supermarket. We can buy yarn in most of the supermarkets, even the discount ones regularly have yarn that they sell. They don't always have it, but they very often have offers on yarn. Again, it may not be produced in the best like possible fashion, I assume, but I to be honest, I'm no expert in that, so I don't know. And I bought two skeins of, and I couldn't find it before I filmed, but it's I really didn't pay a lot of money for it, but it's a little thinner, so maybe that's what I'm gonna do, and then this would maybe be more suitable for I don't know, still socks, but just in a different, maybe with the needles that are just a tiny bit bigger. I don't know yet, but there's that option, and then also, yeah. So this other yarn is a cream color too. Was there a little bit of variegation, a little bit fluffy? It has a maybe a tight bit more acrylic in it, or polyester in it than I, to be honest, I was buying it a little too quickly. So there is wool in it, but less wool than, it's not 80-20, it's probably more like 50-50. So I'm not sure how comfortable they'll be, or, but I think I'll test it out, trying, knitting something. And if it doesn't feel right, I'm just going to donate the two skeins because, that was a little bit of a silly way of buying yarn. So, and then also, because I have leftover of this, I also have leftover of some red variegated yarn that I did socks in. I've done that in a previous episode or shown you that. I thought it could be kind of fun to do. I saw the cutest little colorwork socks where the base is white, which I could do with the other yarn I have, and then it had little rows, like little rows of roses around in green and red or pink, um, like a couple of times. So it has one around here, for example, then one around the base of the foot, and then again here. And it was just stockinette as far as I remember. And I can't right now on top of my head remember the pattern. If I think I saved it in Ravelry, so if I do remember it, I'll put it in the description below, the link to it. But oh my god, they were so cute, and I could do that, I think, because I've been struggling a little bit. What do you use the leftover sock yarn for? Because I have quite, let me just get it. I actually have quite a bit of this. It's not enough for a whole pair of socks, obviously, but I have quite a lot. But red and this green together screams a little too Christmas for me. But if you did the little roses, the pattern with the roses, and the green is done for the leaves, that could look really cute. So yeah, different options that I'm just gonna play around with in my head, because I usually always have a pair of socks going on my needles, because I feel like so easy to bring if I'm on the train, and it's just nice to have something to work on. And I actually love wearing homemade socks, so it's my intention to constantly have something going on in that regard. So yep, so quite a big change in plans, but I feel like yeah, it was a necessary change of plans, because it has to be enjoyable, and it was turning into something that's definitely not enjoyable. And I think that's a pity, because hey, why spend your spare time doing something that's not bringing you joy? That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, that's it for this episode. And As always, I hope that you will subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. It helps me out. It makes me happy that so many of you want to follow along on my knitting journey. Thank you for all the sweet, sweet comments that you leave. I really love it. And yeah, as always, I hope you have an enjoyable day ahead of you and or behind you, regardless of your time zone. And then I hope to see you in my next video. Take care.